That does bring us back to AD. How much responsibility, Dave, is AD expected to shoulder for these Lakers? We saw him step up in that Denver game. What is on him now for the next couple weeks as they try to avoid the play-in?
I hope he feels all the weight of the world on his shoulders, and not to be overly dramatic, but last year when he came to the Lakers, we did a sit down before the season started, and he said, when we struggle, I want to hear my name in the news. I want them, letting me know that that's not living up to the standard of Laker basketball. And last year he met every challenge. He played through injuries. He had that return game to New Orleans where he tweaked his shoulder and played through it, and they came back and won the game. And obviously in the bubble he was fantastic. Hit a game winner against Denver. We all know what he did. And he seemed to put himself on a higher echelon. I had a conversation with Bill Oram, who covers the Lakers for The Athletic, the other day, and we were talking about the Denver Lakers game and going into the season, how many executives would choose Anthony Davis over Nikola Jokic?
Ooh.
Probably 9 out of 10, if not 10 out of 10. But at this stage of their careers, what changed in a year? And, Anthony Davis should take that personally, in my estimation, and be like, let's have everyone be reminded of who I am, what I'm capable of doing, and the team clearly needs him right now. And the player he was against Denver was different than the player he was in the 6 previous games he played when he came back.
Well, okay, so yes, there should be a tremendous amount of pressure on AD, mainly because when you look at his time in New Orleans and you're like, can he carry a team? Now, mind you, he didn't have the load of talent that, let's say, a Jokic has right now in Denver, but he had a good amount of talent, especially, the one year when they had Rondo and Drew and all that, and they made a little bit of run. Anthony Davis has to be able to look Bron in his eye and say, dude, get right. I got this. When you got superstar players and you got 2 superstars, and Anthony Davis is a superstar by talent's definition, right? So he has to be able to say, LeBron, you're 36 years old. You won a final MVP. I got this. Get rested, and I'm going to take this defensively and offensively on my shoulders like a top 5 player should. If you don't do that, AD, we can't sit up here and keep calling you a top 5 player. We can't. Right? Your team is struggling. You are back. You now have had a couple of games to get into your rhythm. You are in a stretch where the best player, one of the best players in the world, the guy that was leading for MVP, is now hurt, and he needs you to make sure that you can get him to the postseason, right? Or to avoid the play-in game.
Avoid the play-in.
If you don't do that, Anthony Davis, you want to hear your name in the news, that is 100% your fault. You've gotten 6-7 games now to get your rhythm. We need to see it picked up. And then if you do that and you guys struggle, that's fine. But right now, you want to be a top 5 player, this is your time to prove it.
Why not, Director Jill and Producer Steve, you can put that schedule back up. I just want to underline what we're talking about here, because we already know he's out for those 2 games, Clippers, Blazers, right? I don't know if he's coming back for the game against the Suns. To your point, Dave, he might not. They've got a back-to-back in the middle of the following week. He's probably not going to play both games on a back-to-back if he's gingerly coming back from a second ankle comeback. Right. So then you've got 1 game against the Pacers, and then you might be going into the play-in.
Banner night is the 12th against the Rockets. They're gonna. You'd think if he can do it, you'd want to be a part of that. But even then, 2 games?
Right. So
let's say max, it's still only 4 games.
So my point is, when everyone keeps saying, as long as they're 100% by the time they get to the playoffs, we kind of already know they're not going to be, because even if he's back, we just don't see players just presto, oh my God, they're exactly the player they were when they left. They usually need at least 4 or 5 games to get back to themselves.
And just quickly, I was texting with one of the players during this downturn. As long as they get incrementally better, day by day, game by game. They can't be 100.
Right, but they can get,
They hit the bottom. So start building back up.
Yeah, it is all possible. I don't think anyone up here would bet against a team with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, certainly early in the playoffs.
It's your time, Anthony Davis.
But it's going to be work. It's not going to be just that they breeze in and get it done. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.